Munich, Bavaria's sparkling capital. The contemporary Olympic towers symbolize the progress that remains unchecked in this modern city. The Olympic Park, an architectural masterpiece, functional and aesthetic. But Munich is also renowned for its culture. It harbors some of the most beautiful museums in the world. One such museum, the Neue Pinakothek, has a priceless collection of 18th and 19th century works of art. For example, the portrait of Mistress Thomas Hybert by Gainsborough. This portrait of the Marquise de Sorcy de Télusson was painted by Jacques-Louis David in 1790, the most important advocate of classicism. It was the Spanish painter Goya who heralded a new era in European art, the Romantic period. His portrait of the Marchesa de Caballero dates from 1807, whilst this landscape was painted as early as 1780. William Turner, who at the outset gained a lot of success with his work, was forever in search of a new direction, as we can see in this painting dating from 1844 titled Ostend. Count Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec spent a great deal of his time in the Moulin Rouge, and the young Ruti is one of his earlier works. Sunflowers by Vincent van Gogh, painted in 1888. In contrast with the Impressionists, Van Gogh regarded the subject matter as only the basis for his work, using colour as a medium for his own personal view of the world. Vincent van Gogh is the personification of the peintre maudit, the misunderstood artist, who only gained fame after his death, having lived his whole life in poverty and hardship. Evening in Auvers is Van Gogh's last work, finished in 1890, shortly before he committed suicide. Within walking distance of the Neue Pinakothek, we pass through the King's Square, containing the Museum of Antique Art, the Glyptothek and the Propylaeon. We've now arrived at Munich's beautiful Museum of Old Art, the Alte Pinakothek. The first that we come to is Hans Memlin's The Seven Joys of Maria. Although born in Germany, he moved to Flanders as a young man, for here was the centre of Northern European art at that time. He first worked under Rogier van der Weyden before finally settling in Brussels. Christmas and all that it personifies has always been a favourite subject among most painters. An unknown Antwerp master painted this Adoration of the Kings around 1505. Albrecht Dürer lived from 1471 till 1528 and spent some time in Antwerp. These two paintings are of the apostles Paul and Mark and Peter and John. Jacob Jordaens was a Lutheran, the popular counterpoint to the Catholic Flemish painter Peter Paul Rubens. Here we see the unique satire and the peasants. Susanna Bathing by Antoon van Dyck. Van Dyck was Rubens' most talented pupil, and he later left Antwerp to paint in the court of England. Although Rubens's influence is quite visible in his work, Van Dyck remains known for his fine composition and attention to detail. Without doubt, Peter Paul Rubens is Flanders' greatest and most renowned master of the Baroque period. His use of light and shade is nothing short of genius. The abduction of the Sabine Virgins, although a typical example of this period, cannot be dated exactly, but we can be sure that this beautiful and impressive painting dates from before 1628. It is interesting to note that the Madonna in garlands is in fact the result of a cooperation between two great Flemish masters, Peter Paul Rubens and Jan Bruegel de Oude. Isaac's Sacrifice is only one of the masterpieces of the unequalled master of the clair-obscur, Rembrandt, one of the greatest painters of all time. Thanks to De Alte and the Neue Pinakothek, Munich has become one of the most important art centers of the world.